Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first Grow Podcast. This will be a podcast on growth, personal development, and just sharing some things that I've learned throughout my life. Um, why am I doing the podcast? Well, I always had thoughts of wanting to do a podcast, but I never made the decision to follow through with it. And it seems like now is the right moment in my life where I should start doing things that I really wanted to pursue. And yeah, so here I am, my first episode of this podcast. So thank you for listening. Um, Short introduction. My name is Danny. I am a 23-year-old living in California. I I've had went through some stuff, and I guess I would like to just share those lessons with the world, and in hopes that it can help others not go through the same pains and troubles that I went through. So, yeah, let's begin. I guess I should explain where I'm at in my life. So, currently, I got out of a relationship very recently, 3 days ago, on January 9th. Um, my my ex partner now, she is going to the military in 9 days now, and yeah, it was very shocking, of course, but I mean, I'm happy for her. I'm very grateful that she came into my life, and we had a relationship for 4 years. And in those 4 years, I really learned a lot, and I grew into a person that I would never dream that I would be standing here today speaking in front of a mic to all my audience. So I really thank her for that. I'm forever grateful, and she deserves all the blessing and love that comes her way. And yeah, so I'm going through that, and I'm currently trying to find my path in life now that I'm alone. Um, I do have some plans for the future. I do know that this podcast is something that I want to do, and I hope it will continue into the future, and maybe I can help as much people as I can. So yeah, let's start with the first thing I would like to share. I'm not sure where to start, but I think I should start with the thing that I learned most recently, and that is about love and care and depression. So, yesterday, I actually went to a funeral service, and it was very moving um, and very tragic what happened. Um, the outcome of suicide. And what I learned and what touched me the most was the amount of people that showed up to the funeral. It was very moving, and it helped me realize that, man, when like I've had a lot of times where I was very depressed and I felt alone, and it feels like no one loves you, and you're better off just not being in this world. And you think about how no one would care about you and no one's gonna love you, and it's probably a better idea to just get out of everyone's way so they can move on with their lives. But yesterday at the funeral, it was it was very sad because everyone was grieving, and just it helped me realize so clearly that even if in the moment when you're down and when things feel like it's so dark in front of you, there's so much more people that care about you and that love you, and that would be broken if you're gone. And it's hard to realize that, you know, when you're alone in this world. It's really hard to realize that, especially when things are going on in your life and you know you're overwhelmed with problems and you got things to do and it seems like things are endless. Well, I'm telling you now, there's far more people that care about you and love you, and you just have to you just have to look for them. You just have to pay attention. You know, like family, friends, anyone near you, past friends, past coworkers, past family. Of course, it's not everyone. Like, there's probably some people that hated you and, you know, they'd rather see you die. But, you know, forget about them. We're talking about people that you've actually had good relationships with. People that, you know, guys had laughing moments or some some connection here and there. And each one of those people, when you're gone, it it leaves an imprint on you. Well, for me, so the person that I went to the funeral for. I didn't know him very well. I only met him a handful of times. Um, I met him through jujitsu. I recently started training at a jujitsu gym. It's been 2 months now since I trained. And the guy, I've only met him a handful of times, as I said. But each time I met him, I just felt this energy. Like I could tell that he wanted to get better. Like he was running. No one told him what to do. He just went out and he just did his thing, and it was very admirable. Like wow, like this guy's getting his thing straight, and it was crazy to be standing in front of his casket and just like yeah, I guess it helps me realize I wish I could have done more, and I think that's what everyone was feeling. It's like no one knew that he had so much trouble, and I think that's like everyone. We really don't know how much trouble people are going through, and how much pain they're suffering and how much they're trying to hide that and trying to be strong. And you know, all they might need is someone to tell them that they care for them and that they love them and that they're there for them. You know, just let them know, like hug them, tell them they're here for them. And you know, maybe if enough people were able to do that for my friend, he things might have turned differently. And yeah, I just hope he rests in peace and God bless his family because man, it must be devastating for the family. But but it's but I was watching the family too, and you know, like the father and the brothers, like they're so strong. They're just trying to keep it together and moving forward. And you know, of course, they're mourning and they're crying, but to see them to see them trying to be strong in those moments really moved me. And yeah, and I forgot to mention on the funeral, it was a bunch of strangers. Like I've only trained at the gym for 2 months. There were some jujitsu family in there that those were the only people I knew, but the rest were family and friends. And I I felt the need to speak up because there was like this um, opportunity for people to come up and have short 2 minute speeches about what they know about the friend. And and yeah, like I was struggling. I was like nervous. I was anxious. I was scared. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I should do it. Look at all these strangers. Look at all these. I don't know if it's even right for me to speak up in this environment. Like, what if I say the wrong things and offend people? Like all this nonsense, let's say. And things are not. I mean, there's some truth in it. Like, yeah, you might offend people, but there's also another part of the truth where you might not offend people, and you might actually share a lesson with them that might impact their lives for the rest of their life. and maybe it can help them and others not go through the same pain. So yeah, I was struggling. I was like, oh man, I don't know what to do. And then uh, one of my jujitsu family, I guess she took notice that I was kind of like, I don't know, fidgeting and like unsure of what to do. And she asked me, um, like, do I want to take a step outside? Like, am I okay? And I just let her know, like, man, I want to say something, but I'm just scared. And all she said was, go do it. And I don't know what clicked in me, but in that moment, I just went, okay, I'm gonna just go do it. Of course, it would have been better if I could have had the balls to do it myself and just walk up there and just say it and yeah. But it was my first time. It was my first time speaking in front of that many strangers um, about such a tragic event, and man, I broke down. I was just crying. I don't even know, like, I don't even know what I said. I'm sure it's somewhat similar to the lessons that I'm saying right now, but just being there, sharing what I've learned on that day, in the moment of grieving with everyone and just being surrounded by all this sorrow. I I really wanted everyone to remember that no matter how hard it may seem, or no matter how lonely you may feel, how alone you are, or how it feels like no one loves you, or maybe you feel like you don't deserve the love because you might have done something, some mistakes in the past that makes you shameful of yourself. Like you feel like you're just a bad person, and like if you're a bad person, why do you deserve love, right? Like if you admit to yourself and you think of yourself as a bad person, who's gonna save you? Like everyone can tell you that you're not, and you're a great person. But if you yourself think you're a bad person, it's really hard to get out of that. And I think you should remember that there's a lot of people out there that just care about you. That would be so devastated if you're gone. And and then maybe if you can realize that, it might give some strength to push forward and motivate you to just keep pushing forward. Because man, life gets lonely and tough a lot of times, and maybe that's all you might have is is the is the thought of everyone that loves you and cares for you that would just be devastated if things didn't go well, especially suicide. I mean, that's that's a heavy topic, but yeah, um, I guess that's my first lesson that I would like to share with everyone. Um, it's very fresh to me because it happened yesterday, and and it was I really liked how the mood shifted. It was very heavy and just crying and griefs and just sorrow throughout the beginning, and towards the end of the service I could feel that everyone was lightening up. Everyone was having conversations, we were eating, people were drinking, people were, and of course, the pain isn't gone. Of course, everyone is still feeling the pain. But it just moved me to see everyone trying their best. Everyone was trying their best to move on and to be strong. I'm sure it's for the person that passed away. They wouldn't want everyone to keep suffering. They honestly wouldn't. Like he wouldn't want everyone to keep crying over him and being in pain for the rest of their life. He probably wouldn't want everyone to get better because that's what he was aiming for. every time I would see him, he wanted to make himself better. He always was striving to get better, and I'm sure that's what he wanted everyone to be, to get better, to yeah. So yeah, that's I guess that would be my first podcast. Um, I hope I can come up with more lessons to share with the world in the future that can maybe help some people, um, help a lot of people. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I can help everyone, but of course that's impossible. But I guess you gotta aim for impossible so you can make things possible. I don't even know if that makes sense. That was a bad quote. Don't quote me on that. Well, yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. I hope to be back soon with another lesson. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, a wonderful week, a wonderful month, and a wonderful year. This is Danny. Um, Out.